Hi there, I'm Kestner. Welcome to Next Level Yoga. Today's class is designed to build strength and flexibility, both the upper and the lower body. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel for more free content. So let's get started. We're going to start this class out standing. So you're going to get your feet underneath you, hip distance apart. And by hips, I mean the front bones, not the outside. Line up your joints, knees over ankles, hips over knees, shoulders over the hips. Let your thumbs turn out slightly, drawing the shoulder blades gently together. And begin to close down your eyes. And begin to notice your breath. And with each exhale, try to relax your face, relax your shoulders. And begin to slow the breath a little more. Let's take a nice slow inhale. And a big, easy, open mouth exhale. 2 more of those. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. And begin to open up your eyes. Reach your arms up and overhead, big stretchy mountain pose. Relax your shoulders, lift your chin. And from this mountain, sweep the arms back. Maybe interlace the fingers behind your back or squeeze a beach ball one way or another. Just gently open the fronts of the shoulders. We'll start opening up nice and slow before we get into the work. And we'll bring the arms back up and overhead, where we'll interlace all the fingers to create one fist. Let your head rest against the inside of your left arm. Lift up just a little higher, and with the exhale, gently lean to your left. And we'll bring it back to center. Rest your head against the inside of your right arm. And with a slow exhale, gently lean to your right. And bring it back to center. Bring the hands down behind your head. Lift your chin, pressing your head into your hands. Open up your elbows. Look up and take a breath. As you exhale, release your hands. Reach up. Bend your knees. Take the arms wide and blow it out as you swan dive halfway down. From here, bring your hands to the fronts of your hips. Push your hip bones back as you continue to fold yourself in half, bringing your belly down onto your thighs, dropping your head into this rag doll. And your right toes, turn them out slightly to the right, and then walk your hands around to the right, bringing your shoulders around to the outside. And your kneecap and your nose in line with each other, and maybe you shift your hips a little bit if you're not finding any sensation in the left side of your low back yet. That's your QL muscle. When you're ready, bring it back through the center. Bring the toes forward, turn the left toes out. Begin to walk the hands around to the left, dropping your head, hanging over that left leg, maybe shifting a little bit if you need more sensation. Let's bring it back to the center, where we'll take a nice slow halfway lift, bringing the hands all the way up onto the thighs, and then gently lifting the face, pressing the thighs back, getting in contact with the backs of the thighs briefly. And then rebend your knees, slide down the legs as you drop your head into a forward fold. Walk your hands forward, walk your feet back. We are heading to plank, with the feet wide, so the little toes are right at the edge of the mat. The shoulders come over the wrists. Look beyond your mat and lower your hips down, a little lower than your shoulders. Push the floor away here and take a nice slow breath. Blow it out. Now look to the right and drop your heels to the left. Big stagger in the feet. Begin to lift that right arm up into a side plank. If it's too much, drop that left knee down. Reach up there, looking up. Take a breath. When you exhale, bring that hand on down. Lift the heels back up. Look to your left. Drop your heels to the right. If you're able to, lift that left hand up to the ceiling. If you need a little less, drop that right knee down. Take a breath. And as you exhale, bring it back to plank. We'll lower the knees to the mat and slowly melt down onto our bellies. Sliding the hands out beside the mat onto your wood floor or your carpeted floor. Toes are untucked, and with a slow inhale, peel up into a very low cobra pose. And then lower it down as you exhale. Relax your elbows. Now let's lift the elbows up a little. With the inhale, peel into a cobra variation, maybe a little higher if it feels okay on your back, and then lower it down on the exhale. One more of those. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower. Bring the hands back onto the mat. Push yourself up off the ground. Walk your knees under you. Drop your head. Tuck your tail. Cat stretch. And then with the inhale, cow pose. Look up, drop your belly. Exhale into another cat stretch. And from here, we'll tuck the toes under. Lift the hips up into downward facing dog, gently pedaling the heels. And begin to walk the feet up to the top of the mat. When you get there, take a halfway lift and blow it out as you sink into a forward fold. Let's take the arms wide as we rise up to standing. Reaching up overhead, pressing the palms, bringing them down in front of your chest. And let's step the feet a little wider than the hips. With an inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching up and out so you look like a really narrow X. Lift your face, lift your ribs, and take a breath in. Go ahead and drop down that left arm. Continue to reach up with the right. Option to reach over for more intensity. And take a breath. And bring that back up to center. Dropping down the right arm, reaching up a little higher. Stay right here or lean into it for more intensity. And bring it back to the center. Interlace the fingers, bring the hands behind the head. Lift the chin, push the head into the hands, open the elbows. Breath in, breath out. Reach up tall. Put some bend into your knees. This time we'll swan dive all the way down to the ground. Dropping your head, looking through your legs, and with an inhale, halfway lift. And an exhale to a forward fold. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet back, heading back to plank, this time with the feet hip distance apart. So as you look down there, put about 12 inches in between your big toes. Stack the shoulders over the wrists, look beyond your mat, and lower your hips down, lower than your shoulders, but try to avoid getting that sway in your back. You do that by sucking your belly button in. Take a nice slow breath here. And then look to your right. Drop your heels to the left. You're welcome to drop that left knee down. And begin to reach that right hand for the ceiling, side plank. Reach up there, look up there, maybe reach back a little. Hold on to it. And then bring it on down. Let's come back to plank. Look to your left. Drop your heels to the right. Maybe drop that right knee. Sweep that left arm up. Reach up into that side plank. Hold on to it. Take a breath. And on the exhale, bring it on down. Start to bend the elbows slow as you lower yourself down and on to your belly. Untuck your toes. Bring your hands right next to your chest and slide them a little closer to your waist. Now with the inhale, reach up into cobra pose. Reach through your toes, reach the center of your chest for the top of the mat, and then exhale, lower it down. 2 more times. Inhale, cobra. Elbows in tight to the side. Exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale, cobra. Exhale down. Strong move with the arms as you push yourself up and off the ground. Walking your knees up and under you. Drop your head. Tuck your tail. Cat stretch. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat stretch. Come to a neutral spine. Let's tuck the toes under. Lift the hips, drop the head, back to downward facing dog, or you'll pedal out the heels a few times. And then begin to walk the feet towards the top of the mat. When you get there, take a halfway lift just to reset yourself. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we rise to standing. Reaching up overhead, pressing the palms, bringing them down in front of your chest. This time, feet are close together, big toes to touch, heels slightly apart, like a little tiny snowplow. And from here, let's reach the arms up and overhead. Look up through your fingertips. Option to move your hands back and take a back bend, letting the hips drift forward. Take a breath. And when you exhale, realign all the joints, looking straight ahead. Let's grab opposite elbows. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, lean to your left. Let your hips kind of drift away into that hip flexor a little bit. Then back to center. Take in a breath. Exhale, lean to your right. And letting your hip kind of reach forward and away. And bring it back to center. Tricep stretch. You can do them one at a time, dropping your hand down behind your neck or dropping both hands down at the same time. Once you've decided whether you want to do one or both at the same time, lift your chin and look up. Now, if you're doing one at a time, go ahead and switch the arms now. Take one more breath here. And when you're ready, release. Reach up overhead, big breath in, bend your knees, swan dive all the way down. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet back. One last time. This time, feet are close together. Come into that plank position. We're going to hold on to it for a breath or two. Pushing the ground away, strong through the arms, pushing through the heels, creating that line of energy. It's okay to drop to your knees if that's too much. Suck the belly button in so that the underside of the belly is cradling the underside of the spine. Now look to your right. Drop your heels to the left. You can stagger your feet or stack them arch on arch. Maybe drop that left knee. Reach up into that side plank. Lift this right hip up as if I'm lifting you up by your belt loop. And take a big, strong breath. On that exhale, bring it back down, come back to center. Look to your left, drop your heels to the right, stagger the feet or stack them. Begin to reach up, lifting up, side plank, looking out to the side or looking up. Big breath in. Slow exhale as you come back to center. Now you can lower all the way onto your belly or lower partway down into chaturanga. Untuck your toes, reach your chest forward and come to upward facing dog. Or you can just repeat one of those cobra poses here. Let's take a nice strong breath. Gaze is straight ahead, not up. The neck is the extension of the spine. One more breath. And when you exhale, slowly lower yourself back down onto the mat. We'll push ourselves up from there. Walk the knees up and under us, and this time, child's pose. Take the knees wide. Sit your hips back, tailbone heading towards the heels, lower on down. Maybe stack up a couple of fists and rest your head there in child's pose. Or take your head all the way down, resting it on the mat. Try to direct your breath into your back ribs. Feel them expand on the inhale and soften your belly on the exhale. We'll take one more breath here. And then start to lift your face. Start to come up to all fours. Bring your knees underneath you. Head into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, drop your head. Lift your hips on up. Pedal out the heels. Keep as much bend in the knee as you need. It's better to have a flat back than to have straight legs. And let's lift the right leg up behind us. Now swing that knee in. Step that foot down and begin to bend and straighten this front knee, loosening it up just a little bit. And then bring that knee forward, flatten out your left hand, bring your right hand up onto your front knee, revolve lunge. You can keep the hand on the knee, or you can reach for the ceiling, looking up. Take a breath. And on the exhale, bring it on down. Let's gently lower that back knee to the mat. Shift around, lining up the bones in the joints, and then eventually crawling up that front leg, maybe just settling in right here. There's plenty of work to come, so you don't have to try to go 100 miles an hour all the time. But if you're that guy, go ahead and bring your hands up over your head, and we'll stay for one breath. Big exhale. Go ahead and melt the hands down to the mat. Walk the hands over to the left and begin to straighten out your front leg. You might have to waggle the foot a little bit to get it straight. And then reaching back with your tailbone slightly, find a stretch up the back of this leg, half split. Now you can begin to walk your hands towards your straight leg. Your intensity is going to become a little more on the hamstring here. You can even hop this hand over the leg and fold directly over for the most intensity. Find a spot in that spectrum and settle in there. One more breath. And then we'll bend that front knee, put that foot on the mat, walk the hands forward, tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee up and step it back to downward facing dog. From here we'll work through our first chaturanga vinyasa. So begin to look beyond the mat, coming into plank, bending the elbows slow. You can go all the way to the mat or pausing and coming into upward facing dog. Let's take it back to down dog, either through all fours or just pressing on up. And when you get there, lift your left leg up behind you. Maybe roll the ankle a bit. Swing the knee in, step the foot down. And begin to shift around, getting your positioning here, loosening and limbering that front knee and hip, flattening out the right hand, left hand onto the knee, look left. Option to reach for the ceiling, revolved lunge. One full breath here. Push that floor away. Push through that back heel. Bring that hand on down. Gently lower the back knee. Shifting around, getting your positioning where you need to be, and then crawl up that front leg, settling in to your low lunge. You can keep it right here, or if you want a little more, you can reach the arms up overhead. Let's stay for one slow breath. Big old exhale. Bring the hands on down. Walk the hands over to the right of your mat. Straighten out that front leg. Bring the hips back as if you're standing on this back knee. And then decide on intensity. You can walk the hands onto the mat and stay here. You can put one hand on the leg. You can hop this hand over the leg and fold directly over into a half split. It's up to you. You know where you find that intensity up the back of this front leg. One last breath. And start to bend the front knee. Bring that foot down. Walk the hands forward. Tuck your back toe under. Lift your back knee up. and step it back to downward facing dog. We're going to start to build a flow sequence here. So we'll go really slow on the first rotation, and then we'll add the breath on the second, and on the third we'll flow through it. So let's start with the right foot. Lift the right foot up behind you. Swing the knee in and step the foot down. Flatten your back foot. Now reverse triangle. Begin to straighten out your front leg as you stand up. Reach that right hand up for the ceiling. From here, side angle. Bend your front knee. Bring your forearm down to rest on your front leg. Reach up or over your head. From side angle, reverse warrior. Windmill the arms back, keeping the lower body just where it is, reaching up, looking up, reverse warrior. From reverse warrior, extended warrior, reach up and overhead, get really long on the sides of your body, turn your face to look straight off the top of your mat, and then level off your arms, warrior two. Warrior two. Hands are going to come down to the mat, down dog kick. Drag that foot back, kick it free as high as feels good to you, and then bring that knee in, step that foot down. This time we spin the back foot flat, more angled towards the front for warrior one. Keep us bending this front knee as you rise up, reaching up, warrior one. Feel those front ribs lift, back leg is straight and strong. Hinge forward at the waist and airplane the arms. And then come back up to warrior one. Let's bring the hands down to the mat. Step that right foot back to downward facing dog, chaturanga vinyasa. On the inhale, come to plank. On the exhale, lower partway or all the way. On the inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. From here, we make our way back to downward facing dog, either through all fours or just lifting up. And in down dog, we take a breath. Try that on the left side. Lift that left leg up behind you. Swing that knee in, step that foot down, spin the back foot flat. Begin to stand up, straightening out that front leg, sweeping that left arm up, reverse triangle. Bend your front knee, melt that left hand down onto your leg. Sweeping the right arm up, side angle, or over, your choice. And from side angle, reverse warrior. Windmill the arms back. From reverse warrior, extended warrior. Both arms reach up overhead, get lots of length. Look off the top of your mat and then level off your arms. Slightly charging forward. Warrior two. From here, hands come to the mat, framing that front foot. Down dog kick, drag that left foot back, kick it free. And then swing that knee in, step that foot down. Flatten that back foot in a more natural position, angled at about a 45-degree angle. Keep that front knee bent as you rise up to warrior one, squared to the short edge of the mat. Hinge forward at your waist and airplane your arms. Sweep it back up and overhead. And then bring the hands down to the mat. Stepping it back to downward facing dog. This time, we'll add the breath cues. As you inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. As you exhale, swing that knee in, step that foot down, spin the back foot flat. Inhale as you straighten the front leg and rise, reverse triangle. Exhale as you windmill the arms forward and down, side angle. Inhale to reverse warrior. Exhale here. Inhale, reach both arms up, extended warrior. And on the exhale, level off the arms, warrior two. Drop your hands to the mat. Down dog kick. Inhale, kick that right leg up behind you. Exhale, knee in, foot down, back foot flat. Inhale as we rise, warrior one. Exhale, airplane the arms. Inhale it up. Reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Chaturanga vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. And we'll try that all on the left side with the breath. Inhale as you lift your left leg up. Exhale as you swing the knee in, step the foot down, spin the back foot flat. Inhale to reverse triangle. Exhale to side angle. Inhale to reverse triangle. We're going to exhale in this position and then inhale. Reach both arms up. Charge into that warrior two on the exhale. Hands to the mat. As you drag that left foot back, kick it free. Down dog kick. Swing the knee in, step the foot down. Spin the back foot flat. Inhale as we rise, warrior one. Exhale, airplane the arms. Inhale, back up overhead. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back to downward facing dog and catch your breath. We're going to flow through that one more time, just a little faster. Do the best you can. It gets easier the more you try it. Right side. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee in, foot down, back foot flat. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale here. Inhale, extended warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Hands to the mat. Inhale, down dog kick, right leg. Swing that knee in, step that foot down, spin that back foot flat. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back to downward facing dog, chaturanga vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Find your breath. Go to the left side. Here we go. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee in, foot down. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Blow it out here. And then inhale, extended warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Bring your hands to the mat. Down dog kick. Kick that left leg up. Swing that knee in, step that foot down. Spin the back foot flat. Warrior one, rise up. Exhale, airplane the arms. Inhale it up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back to downward facing dog. Moving over to the right side to finish. Lift that right leg up behind you, any height that works. Swing that knee in, step that foot down. Keep the back heel lifted. We're going to come up to high lunge, either walking your hands up and pressing yourself up, or sweep the arms wide and make your way up to high lunge. Settle in here. Take a breath. Push into that back heel, and then allow your hands to drift down. Hook them behind your back as you open up the fronts of the shoulders, lifting the center of the chest. And then release your hands. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your chest. Lean forward. Bring your left hand or your left elbow down to this front thigh. Take a prayer twist. Maybe sink in there. Now our escape is reverse triangle. So come through center, flatten out that back foot, straighten that front leg, and reach up to reverse triangle. Let's bend that front knee. Windmill the arms down to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. Chaturanga vinyasa if you want it. If not, just wait here. Otherwise, inhale to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. We catch up here and we finish on the left side. Lift the left leg up behind you. Swing that knee in, step that foot down. Keep the back heel lifted. Crawl up that front leg or take the arms wide. One way or another, get yourself to this high lunge, relax your shoulders. Take a breath. Let your hands drift down. Hook them behind your back. Lift the center of your chest. Open up. And then release. Hands to prayer in front of the chest. Hinge forward at the waist. Look to your left. Right elbow or right hand comes down onto that knee. And take that prayer twist. Sink a little lower. Our escape is reverse triangle. Bring the hands back to center. Flatten that back foot as you straighten your front leg. Reach up with that left hand. And then bend your front knee. Windmill the arms forward and down. Find the mat. As you step back to downward facing dog, shaking it out, pedaling out the heels. Lift your tailbone just a little bit, suck your belly button in, one breath here. And then begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend your knees, walk your hands back. Let your ribs find their way back onto the tops of your thighs. Come back to that ragdoll hanging over your legs. Grab opposite elbows. You can be still here or you can sway. Whatever feels good to you. And from here, we'll drop the hands. We'll start to tick-tock the feet out, turning the toes out onto the floor. Walking the hands up onto the knees. And then coming up about halfway, bring your elbows down to rest on your thighs, sitting your hips back and down. Now you might stay right here in this squat. Or maybe you'll bring your elbows to the insides of your knees, pressing your palms together and flattening out your back, looking straight down at the mat. Or maybe look up straight ahead and drop your tailbone down into upright frog. Choose a position you can live with. And let's take 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Start to drop your fingertips down to the mat. Drop your head. Lift your hips up and out of that torture. Bring your toes back onto the mat and gently sway from side to side. Now start to tick-tock your feet in. So your heels are a little closer to one another. Bend your knees and walk your hands forward. Begin to sit down on the backs of your calves. And you can lean forward. If you have some issues with your ankles or your knees, you can just lean forward, letting your knees rest against the backs of your elbows. Or walk your hands back. Yes, your heels are lifted. I get asked that all the time. Walk your hands back. Come to a more vertical spine and stay here in this malasana squat. Or if you want to add just a little element of danger, a little balance, you can bring your hands behind your feet, trying to hook your index fingers together, dropping your head, finding that lat stretch. And let's take 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And begin to make your way out of this pose, coming down onto your knees and then onto your backside. Bring your legs out in front of you. We'll shake them out. And then start to take your feet wider than your mat. Now I always say this isn't cheerleading camp, so it doesn't have to be anything too aggressive. Just a little wider than your mat. Flexing your feet, sitting up tall, very angular. Keeping the chest lifted, begin to walk your hands down the fronts of your shins, gently drawing yourself in, keeping your toes flexed. And maybe you just pause right here, hinging forward rather than rounding your back. Or if you're able to, pull yourself in a little deeper. Or maybe hold on to the feet. It's up to you. It's where you can manage to hold on to this pose for the next 15 seconds. Breathe. And let's take one more breath here. And when you exhale, see if you can go just a little deeper. Take a breath in and sink in on the exhale. Go ahead and come out of that whenever you're ready. Let's bend the knees, bring the feet up on the mat, sway them out a little bit from side to side. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together. And you can either, some people like to bring their heels in close. I'm not one of those people. I like more of a diamond shape in my legs, but if you like that, do it. A butterfly pose or a cobbler's pose, we're going to round forward and drop the head, resting the hands wherever they're useful, making sure that the upper body has some sort of support in the arms. And then just settle in. Close your eyes. Try to release on your exhales. And one more breath, and this time, just like in that wide-legged forward straddle, when you exhale, see if you can sink in just a little more. Use the breath. And slowly bring it on up. Stretch the legs out, shake them out a little bit, and come on to your back. So come on down onto your back, hug your knees in, rock it out from side to side. And let your arms drop out to the side, let your knees drop over to the right. They can kind of free form, you don't have to worry about them staying stacked. What you'd like to keep is your shoulder blades right on the mat. So adjust the height of the knees so that you can keep your shoulder blades glued to the ground. Rock your head to the left. Close your eyes and take a couple of breaths. And just do a quick scan of where you can feel the support of the floor underneath you. It's probably under your right shoulder and rib, your right hip, the outside of your right ankle or your foot. And just quickly scan your attention through those spots. And then take a breath. And as you exhale, try to sink into those spots, pressing down. And one more breath here. And begin to lift your left knee up, bringing it back to center, letting your right knee follow it. Protect your back. Rock a little bit. And then we'll do that on the other side. Arms out to the sides. Drop the knees to the left. Scooch maybe onto that left hip a little bit. But check in with your shoulder blades. Make sure that they're still firmly in touch with the ground. Rock your head till you find the spot that works for your neck. Close your eyes. Scan down the body and notice, you may not have the same experience on both sides. Notice where your body has the most contact with the floor. And then take a breath in. And as you exhale, sink into those spots a little more. And then lift that right knee up. And then the left. Bring the soles of the feet together, the hands on the fronts of the shins. Use your forearms or your elbows to nudge the knees open and rock across the low back. You've got a nice smooth path there. Rock it out. And then pause. And holding on to the front of that right shin, lift up your foot and angle it so the sole of the foot is angled at the ceiling. And then the left. Maybe you can reach up and grab your big toes and pull your knees a little closer. Take a breath in, dead bugs pose. And when you exhale, just soften your belly. Let your belly button sink in. One last breath here. And let it go. Final relaxation. You can stretch the legs out long, or you can keep the feet on the mat, with the knees propped against one another, or you can bring the soles of the feet together, letting the knees drop open. Take a second to lift your chest up, readjust your shoulder blades, rock your head gently to neutralize your cervical spine. Your arms can rest on your belly or stretch them out to the side and let those tired arms just rest. Close your eyes and just become very still. Allow your breath to be slow and effortless. And just enjoy a moment of rest. And start to deepen your breath. Pull some air in and hold on to it. And purse your lips as if you were blowing out a candle and very slowly release that air. Begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And gently rock your head side to side. Bend your knees and walk your feet back onto the mat if they're not already there. And then lazily begin to sway the knees from side to side, rolling across those SI joints, the sacrum, the tailbone. After a few of those, when your knees go to the right, allow that momentum to carry you over onto your right side. And just get comfortable there. And let's take 3 very slow breaths here. When you finish that 3rd breath, go ahead and make your way up to a comfortable seated position. When you get there, interlace your fingers, flip your palms forward, round your spine, lower your chin, take a big slow breath right into those back ribs. And on your exhale, release, bring your hands apart, bring them behind you, find the floor. Lean back, lift the center of the chest, lift your chin, and take 1 breath here. As you finish that exhale, sit up tall. 1, wake up, inhale as you sweep the arms back and up, overhead, reaching and looking up. Press the palms together and blow it out as you bring the hands on down. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.